If you were thinking to do it and you were scared to do it, this is your sign to get it done. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So first of all, my name is Jenny. I'm 29 and I'm currently traveling Southeast Asia. I have traveled to a lot of different countries by myself, so I think I'm in a good position to give advice. So first things first, let's give a little bit of context on why I'm traveling, where I am exactly now. Eventually I will tell you about many of my other trips, but for now I'm gonna talk to you about the Southeast Asia. At the moment I have traveled to Thailand and Vietnam, so I wanna tell you and explain you how you can do that too, and how you can really travel in a budget, because I feel that people think that you need to be rich or you need to have a certain amount of money to be able to travel. So one thing is going on vacation, and the other thing, which is different, is traveling. A realistic budget that you need. Obviously it will depend on you as a person and your lifestyle and the things that you like doing. Like with the same budget, I have traveled before for 2 weeks, and this time I'm using it to travel for 3 months. So I'm gonna give you the tips to be able to do the same as me and to travel the world and just to live your best life, because we only have one life, so you might as well make the most out of it. I know that solo traveling as a girl can be a little bit scary. You're going to a new country and you might think like, I don't know anyone in there, what if something happens to me? There's like a bunch of questions that will come to your head when you are going to a new place. But I feel that once you actually get out of your comfort zone and you take the step to do it, all your concerns are going to dissipate. I want you to go with a really an open mind, because there's many things that can happen, there's many things that can go wrong, or there's many things that can go against your schedule. So one of the most important things is just to be open-minded and like live one day at the time, and yeah, just like be free. One of the things that I like the most about traveling in general, mostly solo traveling, is that you are going to feel so free. At least I personally have felt so free in terms of like doing whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted, without having to wait anyone, getting out of my comfort zone even more. I consider myself someone that is very outgoing and friendly, you know, so I've never had any problem to meet people. However, I feel that when you travel, you have to put yourself out there even more, because that's the only way how you will meet people. And even though you're solo traveling, it doesn't mean that you have to be alone. One of the best experiences that I have had, and I still remember, are experiences that I have done with other solo travelers that I have met along the way, or other people that I have met along the way. They have made my trip amazing, and we have lived amazing adventures that I will never forget, and probably they won't forget either. I feel like as a girl as well, you can feel very unprotected and more vulnerable when it comes to certain situations. But again, as you get out of your comfort zone and you put yourself out there, the empowerment that you will feel and the self-growth that you will experience, like nothing else will give it to you. Also, I feel that you can really reconnect with yourself, and you can really learn about yourself, because when you are in your comfort zone, or when you are at home doing like the same job with the same friends, going to the same places all the time, it's nice, you know, because it's stable, but you are not really experiencing anything new, so you are not really understanding well who you are, because you are not putting yourself in different situations in terms of like even trying new foods or doing new things that you haven't never done before. Those things are the ones that will make you understand like, damn, I'm trying this new dish that I didn't know I like and I love it. So you are learning new things about you that you didn't know. Like how amazing is that? Also the experience that solo traveling, or even traveling in general, gives you, and the knowledge, nothing else give it to you. Like, there's no books, there's no podcasts, there's no videos, nothing that can teach you the same way that traveling, nothing else is gonna teach you these experiences. In fact, I feel that this is one of the best things that I've decided in my life. The fact of going abroad and putting myself in difficult situations sometimes, you know, it doesn't have to be that something bad happens to you, but I don't know, situations where you really have to defend yourself or negotiate things, etc., that you wouldn't do at home. All of these things teach you so much that you don't even notice, but then when you go back home, you are one step or two steps ahead than the people that have never left the country. In general, I feel that girls are, mostly nowadays, we are really empowered and we feel really strong, and we are. However, in some countries, some cultures don't think of us in the same way, so you always have to be aware of the place where you are and kind of adapt to those places. You know, for example, if you're gonna travel to a Muslim country, you know that you shouldn't be dressing in certain ways just because you don't want to get too much attention from people that you don't want, or also because it can be disrespectful for their culture. Always be careful with anyone that you don't really know, because you never know what can happen, and it's better that you protect yourself. Also, another advice is like, never leave your belongings unattended, even if you're in a hostel or even if you are in a hotel. Always put them in a safe, or always keep them, the very important things like passport, wallet, or like more expensive belongings, like for example, if you have a nice camera or anything that can be stolen, leave it in a locker. I feel grateful that nothing has ever happened to me, and I knock on wood because I know it won't happen. I also believe a lot in energies, and if you're positive and if you're a good person, you will only attract that to you. So that's what I have been attracting so far, and I'm like beyond grateful to the universe. Still, I am careful because you never know. There's not only good and positive people, there's also bad people that will try to take advantage of you, and I mean, it's just common sense. I feel like we also have this sixth sense, mostly as women. We have this sixth sense that tells us if someone is good or not, if a place gives us a good vibe or not. All of these things, you like also should follow your intuition, and if your intuition tells you not to do something or not to go somewhere or like not to talk to a certain person because it doesn't give you a good vibe, just listen to your intuition, because I think it's something really important. Another thing that I like doing, even though it doesn't really help a lot because if I'm in the other side of the world, there's not much they can do, but I always tell my mom and my friends where exactly I'm gonna be, who I'm gonna be with, so if I die or if something happens to me, at least I know where to look for. I don't want to be like super dramatic about it, but you just have to keep yourself safe. Talking about safety as well, I always thought about getting travel insurance or not taking a travel insurance. To be honest with you, I always traveled without a travel insurance. However, this time around I decided to take one because I thought, I mean, if something happens, at least I'm covered, or if something, because this is the longest trip that I have ever done, so I thought, well, I might as well just be covered. If something happens, at least my parents don't have to do anything, or I don't have to like spend so much money in hospitals or in medicines, or if something really important happens, at least I'm covered. Okay, so I don't know if it's because I took it, I attracted it, but this is the first time ever, because I'm always super safe, super healthy. Nothing ever happens to me at home, nothing have ever happened to me while traveling, but this time I had 2 accidents. Well, one, I was just like drunk and I was crossing the road, so I twisted my ankle and I got like a huge I was calling it my little elephant foot because it got like really big and it was like all purple. And then yesterday I was just going on a motorbike and I had an accident with a motorbike, so I twisted my other ankle, and this one is not that bad like the one before, although it was very scary. I'm glad that I took the travel insurance this time, so it can cover for these little things and for my trips to the hospital. But the other times that I didn't take it, nothing ever happened to me. So I'm thinking maybe I attracted it by taking it. I don't know. These are things that are out of my control. But anyway, you never know what can happen, so I feel that it's better to take it just in case. Although it's not strictly necessary, but it depends on you and in your risk tolerance. You know, if you're someone that is like very scared and wants to be really make sure that everything is on point, then go ahead and take it. But if you're like a free spirit like me and you know, you don't really care, and if something specific happens, you're happy to cover for it in the hospital, then I don't think it's that extremely important that you have it. Another thing that I recommend you as a female solo traveler is getting hostels instead of hotels. Why? Because it depends on your level of what kind of trip you want to have. You want to have a holiday, all like bougie and shiny and like, you know, go ahead and take the hotel. But you want to actually live the real experience of the city, probably, because you will be able to meet more local people in the hostels as well as other travelers, solo travelers like you. In fact, when I was in Thailand the second time, I went to a hostel and I was able to meet like a whole group of people. At the end we were like 10 people and everyone was traveling solo as well, so it was really nice because I was able to meet all these people, and then we went around in the city, we went to party, we went to have dinner together, and it was really nice experience, you know. So I feel that you can do these things mostly in hostels rather than hotels. And also in these hostels they have private rooms, so if you don't want to be sharing rooms with other people, it's a very good option. It's cheaper and you actually get to know people like you that are traveling around, so I highly recommend that. When you're traveling alone, you also want to make sure that you're taking some cash with you, because in some countries they only use cash, so you won't really find places where you can use your card, and you can find yourself stuck in the middle without being able to get a taxi or without being able to pay for food just because you don't have cash. So make sure that you have some cash with you, but don't go crazy and don't take so much cash that you can lose it or you can get it stolen. I normally carry around $100 at the time. And then the last thing, depending where I go and depending how much time I have, I normally go with the flow. Like if I meet some cool people and they're going in a way that looks amazing and it sounds cool, I join them, or I see how I feel in the day and then I do the thing instead of like planning things so much. However, it is important to plan certain things, for example like flights or certain trains, because maybe you find yourself booking it in the last minute and then you don't find anything. So those kind of things, if you know, for example, 3-4 days ahead that you're gonna go to a certain place, then book it. If not, I like going with the flow. I like just being very spontaneous about things, and that is how I have had the best times in my trips, because you just get to meet people and do things randomly, you know, and like live the present moment without planning so much. I think is like really cool, and that is the way that I have felt freer, if that's a word, but that's the way how I felt more free. So as a female solo traveler, those are my advices. Go ahead, if you were thinking to do it and you were scared to do it, this is your sign to get it done, because I know that you wanted to book this trip since a while ago and you haven't done it because you have like all these questions in your head and all these concerns that are stopping you to actually take the decision. So I hope you book this flight right now, and I hope that my tips actually help you. I see you in the next video.